Hey, what is up? It is Crypto Bobby, and today is a good day if you have Ethereum, if you have Bitcoin, if you have Monero, if you have Dash. There are a lot of cryptocurrencies right now establishing new all-time highs as basically on a minute-by-minute basis, and it's been something that for some of these cryptos has been a long time coming. Ethereum specifically, Monero as well, but a couple cryptocurrencies had really nice runs back in the early summer. A lot of people hopped on late and were holding bags for quite some time. And if you held the faith, you've been somewhat handsomely rewarded right now today. So I want to talk about Ethereum a bit and how it might benefit from some of the institutional money coming in. Bitcoin continuing to move along, and kind of my overall plan as I move forward here. So I'm hopping over onto on-chain FX, and the way I just sorted this was actually since all-time high. And both Bitcoin and Ethereum have actually hit all-time highs today within the last 24 hours. Dash hit its all-time high yesterday. It's about 6% off of it now. Monero hit its all-time high yesterday. It's about 9% off of it. And then you have a couple others. You have Neo less than a week ago, EOS as well, and Ardor, which is a little bit smaller in nature there. But some of the big ones that have recently been really crushing it, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dash, and Monero. But Ethereum is one that I think is pretty interesting because it had that incredible run if we pull it up on the one-day charts and zoom out a little bit. But Ethereum had that incredible run back in the June timeframe and then kind of fell off the face of the earth for a couple of months, basically until September or until August 1st, and then rose back up from August 1st all the way to really the first week or so, first couple days of September, and then had another big time sell-off. And it's slowly somewhat been picking up steam a little bit and had a really nice consolidation in the 300 range. And this is where I started to accumulate. Get rid of some of these order histories here. But this is really where I started to accumulate quite a bit of Ethereum, and I talked a little bit about it previously, but was buying in the 300 range, buying in the 310 range, and then kind of the last-ditch effort where I saw this was about to rocket up, I bought at 328, which unfortunately was somewhat high, but that's kind of where I ended up making the move, was at the 328 range. And as I bought in here, I was looking at the cues on social media, looking at some of the information in the charts, looking at just some of the excitement I see. And as far as how I approach things, I'm not a technical analyst. I'm not great at charting. I'm not going to sit here and BS you and draw a couple lines and pretend that I am. But I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of when people get excited in this space, when there tends to be a lot of building up excitement and pent up excitement. That's when things get ready to pop. And that's what I had sensed a little bit with Ethereum. I had previously sensed that back in the day with Neo. I had sensed that with OMG before they started to pop. Kind of got a little bit of a feel for it with Bitcoin when it was around, $4,000 or $5,000, all the built up excitement and pent up demand for it. And that's kind of what I started seeing here at 310 a little bit, and then at 328 I thought it was ready to pop, so I just put a ton into Ethereum and let it ride, and that's what's been a great move so far. I talked about that a little bit when Bitcoin hit $8,000. I think this was only 4 days or so ago, November 19th, so 5 days or so. But talked a little bit how I thought Ethereum was poised to run, and it turned out it was. Right now, we're establishing new all-time highs at 447. So I'm really excited to see that and see Ethereum break its all-time highs of in that 400, 420 range, depending upon the exchange from back in June, because while you can definitely debate a lot of things about Ethereum and the technicals of Ethereum, how it can scale, all that good stuff, I do think I think overall it's good for the space. So I'm excited to see how Ethereum might play out, and just from a general baseline perspective, buying at 310, 328 and having it here, it's a pretty damn good trade. What I'm planning on doing right now for the time being, nothing. I plan on sitting on Ethereum for the time being. I plan on sitting for Bitcoin for the time being. And on my portfolio, I need to adjust this a little bit, but my Ethereum holdings now, previously they were about They were about 30% now, with the fiat value rising of that about 30%. This number is actually up a bit. The Bitcoin number is probably somewhat steady. And then just from a fiat percentage, the OMG, Civic, and Cardano probably a little bit lowered, so you can get a feel. But right now, where I see things, I mean, I'm just getting the sense that there's about to be a lot of institutional money that's going to come into the space. And when it comes down to both Bitcoin and to a lesser extent Ethereum, but when it comes down to Bitcoin, a lot of that institutional money is going to go into Bitcoin. And then to a lesser extent, if the controls are in place, which I think they will be for Ethereum, but if the controls are in place for Ethereum, there's going to be some interest in going outside of and diversifying a little bit outside of just Bitcoin into some of the larger cryptocurrencies. And when you think about that, it's probably not going to be down here to something like library credits, or maybe not even to Civic or to Siacoin or to Vertcoin or to Steem or whatever. It's probably going to be concentrated in the top 10 to some extent, or to Ethereum Classic and to some of these other ones. But that's primarily where I'm looking at this as an opportunity from an institutional investment perspective, is when those guys, I'll pull up there's a video recently, so I'll try to link to it in the show description so I don't have to search for it on the video. But there was a video before from Brian, the CEO of Coinbase, where he talked about their new Coinbase custody program. And the Coinbase team estimates that there's $10 billion of institutional money sitting on the sideline right now, ready to pull the trigger and to invest in cryptocurrencies. You can imagine that the majority of that $10 billion is going to go into Bitcoin, but there is going to be I think a smaller subset that will go into Ethereum, or that maybe will go into Litecoin, or to Ripple, or to Dash, or to Bitcoin Cash, or to Monero, whatever it might be. So I think primarily, though, it's going to go into Bitcoin and it's going to go into Ethereum, because that seems to be what all the institutional guys talk about. Whether or not that's the best thing to put your money into, it doesn't necessarily matter. But when you're talking about potentially $10 billion of money coming into the space, that's a lot of money, and that's going to prop up potentially Bitcoin. That's potentially going to prop up Ethereum quite a bit. So I'm going to place that kind of bet for the time being and see if and when this institutional money comes in, because there's all these custodian services now that are being built and developed to allow that $10 billion to flow into the space comfortably. That will, I think personally, boost up the price of Bitcoin, potentially Ethereum as well. So I'm going to hang on board for the time being for both, unless something significant happens, like some hack or something crazy where I think it's better off selling and potentially buying back in lower at a specific point in time. But outside of that, guys, one other move that I did make recently, that I've been talking about privacy coins, and I've been asking people about privacy coins for a long time. And to be honest, I've been a little bit of a wimp about it. I just haven't made the move into privacy coins. I've been asking about, what's better, if it's Monero, if it's Zcash, if it's Pivx, if it's Nav, if it's Verge, whatever it might be, if it's Dash. I've just been trying to gauge, technically speaking, maybe what's the best privacy coin, what has the best adoption, what has the best use case, what people might want to utilize. Because I think in a logical case, there is a very good sized subset of people that are interested in leveraging cryptocurrencies for the aspects of privacy. And I think there's probably going to be one or two that have a lot of success, and maybe the other ones just kind of hang around for the time being. And I've asked about a bunch. Like I said, Monero I was looking at when it was $85, $95. I didn't pull the trigger on it, and it's up to $157 right now, one day off its all-time high, which it established at $173. So I ended up actually making a small move into Zcash and I think I'm going to start to build a position in Zcash, or build a larger position in Zcash as I continue to develop and as I continue to look at how the market is moving. If you guys have specific thoughts on privacy coins and which ones that I should potentially evaluate, whether I'm an idiot and I shouldn't have put any money in Zcash, if I should have put it in Monero, if I should have put it in Verge, if whatever it might be, I'd love to hear your thoughts too about that process. The only thing that I like Monero as well, I kind of dig the community aspect, or some of the community aspect they have there. Just a little bit leery sometimes as far as buying at an all-time high day. especially when it was yesterday that I went into, yesterday I went into Zcash. So, buying at an all-time high yesterday wouldn't have paid off because I'd already be down 9%. So just a little bit of food for thought there. I'd love to hear your commentary on the privacy coins and how maybe some of them are superior to others in terms of technical capabilities, and some might be superior to others in terms of user adoption or use cases, whatever it might be. Really enjoy your thoughts on that, guys. Now, outside of that, if you are new to the channel by any chance, my name is Crypto Bobby. I do daily videos on the subject of cryptocurrency. And today, looking at where we're at right now with Ethereum, it's been a fantastic day. I'm not going to lie, I've enjoyed it. I've been looking at Blockfolio and seeing that number go up and up and up and up and up. So hopefully you're in the same boat. If not, that day will come. You just got to stay by and kind of continue to evaluate potential winners for yourself. But if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, a little notify bell next to that. So the next video that I do have, you can get that delivered straight to your app. And then when I do go live, which I'm thinking about potentially going live this evening or this afternoon for a crypto happy hour, hit that subscribe button, a little notify bell. That way, when I do go live for crypto happy hour, you're able to join me. Thank you so much for your time.